You would have to say. Got him! Thadani strikes! What a start this has been for the Western Conference. And clearly, the West on top. Full attacking the stumps. Just what you want to start a T20 game in this power play. Suhani Thadani, she's provided for her team. The West strike again. It's none for two. So for the West, what a start it's been. Suhani Thadani already taking 2 wickets in this first over. That of Afia Kazi. In comes the captain, Lisa Ramjit. Suhani Thadani would have opened the bowling in one of the Sister Mortgage Women's National Championship games for the Western Conference. And you can see, well, you're getting some lateral movement as well. But when she's full and on the stumps, it's so difficult to play. This is really good from the Western Conference thus far. I love the field as well. Very attacking. The slip in place. No fielders out the circle. So she's backing her abilities to be full and on that off-stump line. Yeah, watchful from Ramjit. And ends the first over. What a first over it is for the Western Conference. Double wicket maiden. To start proceedings off, it's none for two. So from the other end, Snigdha Paul, the seamer for the Western Conference, with the new ball in hand. What a first delivery from Paul. Almost hitting the stumps, you must say. The strategy from the Western Conference is excellent. So Paul, can she add to the wickets as well? Loud appeal. Umpire Mahabir standing in her first game of these national championships. Driving again, and every delivery, they're challenging the East. Taranam Chopra still there, the opening batter, so it'll really be up to her and Lisa Ramjit to sort of build this partnership, get them out of this trouble. Still got some batting to come, but anytime you lose 2 wickets in the first innings, that could be detrimental to your team. Run out chance. Oh no, it's all happening. The run wasn't on. And a 3rd wicket for the Western Conference. They still have not been able to get a run. The East. And the 3rd one goes down. You must say this is disastrous at this stage. Not what they would have been looking for. Batting, the surface is very good for batting early on. 3rd wicket goes down is that of Taranam Chopra. She ran hard, but in the end, her partner sent her back. 3rd wicket goes down. It's still 0 for 3. So these two at the crease really need to do some rebuilding. Chopra will be disappointed coming into this national championships. Wasn't part of the women's, so she want to make an impression in the under-19. Still got some games to go, of course, but she was shaping up nicely. She'll be disappointed that it affected into a run-out, so not a great cricket from the perspective of the Eastern Conference. And that wicket of Disha Dhingra in the first over was so crucial just to set things off. Then went Afia Kazi, and followed by Taranam Chopra. Alicia Fernando, new batter at the crease. And that one was hit straight to square leg. She took off Chopra. Ramjit wasn't interested in the run. Unfortunately, another run out. Ends the second over. Another wicket maiden for the Western Conference. They're on top of things here at the end of 2. It's 0 for 3. So couldn't have asked for a better start. The Western Conference. Suhani Thadani continues. And I'm really watching her in the nets yesterday, Thadani. Very impressed by her seam bowling. She's got a fluent action. Maybe one of the most fluent in terms of the seamers in this tournament. She uses that left arm so well. That's how she's so accurate. Really excited to see how she develops. This one played into the onside by Ramjit. First runs will just be a single. So they're underway finally, the Eastern Conference. Again, challenging her on the front foot. The wicket of Lisa Ramjit is one that the Western Conference will identify as the main wicket to get. If they've already taken 3 in this power play, if they can get the wicket of Ramjit, you would think the Eastern Conference will be in serious trouble. Lisa Ramjit, with her bowling and batting, will be a crucial provider. She's also the captain of the Eastern Conference. Ooh, look at Tadani there. This one off the inside edge will be a single. Very exciting young prospect, Sahani Tadani. Yes, and this one through cover. So Lisa Ramjit, more runs for her. It's a quick outfield. Won't get to the boundary though. Comes back for 2. She's a vivacious player, Ramjit. She plays her shots, knows how to construct an innings. She was disappointed she wasn't in the runs in the national championships, but now in the under-19 tournament, she'll look to really dominate proceedings. And her team will really be depending on her to get them into a better position at this stage. Well, left this time, you can see Tadani really operating in that 4th stump line. End of the over at the end of 3. You must say the Western well on top. It's 4 for 3. So, if you had asked the Western Conference who won the toss, remember, and elected to bowl first, about this start, they would have taken it every day of the week. Couldn't have asked for anything better to take 3 wickets and just concede 4 runs in the initial 3 overs. Snigdha Paul, first over was a maiden, inflicted the run out of Taranam Chopra. And Ramjit will already need Fernando to stay with her at the crease, get to these power play overs. And try to get this team into a good position. Trying to play that cut shot, Fernando. Beats the outside edge. Well watched from Fernando. Got to hurry. A misfield helps him in the end. Lisa Ramjit want to run the quick singles. She already turned back 1 and it resulted in the run out of Chopra. So they need to be measured in their approach of running between the wickets, but still they need those quick singles to relieve the pressure. No run into the offside. So they'll have the work cut out for them. These two teams. And these two at the crease. Lisa Ramjit and Alicia Fernando. Freebie in the air, well stopped at square leg. And Ramjit got a full toss on her legs, really connected with that well. Would have been disappointed she was unable to put that into the boundary. But we must say, excellent fielding at square leg. Loud appeal. Umpire not interested. They were certain, the Western Conference, that they had bat on that. Beating that outside edge with regularity to start proceedings off. And Lisa Ramjit was player of the match in the final game of the Sistar Mortgage National Championships here in the last week or so. And on that occasion, it was her bowling. She got 4 for 18. Now, she's needed with the bat. End of the over. At the end of 4, the Eastern Central Conference, 6 for 3. Tadani operating on that off stump line. You expect probably her to bowl her maybe full quarter. They've got a lot of bowling, the Western Conference. Isani Vaikela, very talented. She's still there to bowl. Shivana Aras as well. Well, not playing today, Aras. But Lasya Mulapudi with her leg spin can be an option. And in terms of for the Eastern, well, I'm very excited to see their bowlers as well. Bhumika Badaraju, someone that we talked extensively about during the Women's Nationals, but they need to get the runs on the board first before they can even think about bowling. Mitali Patwardhan, she's still there. Nishka Kumar as well. So still some batting. Now it's just about consolidating, building this partnership. Well kept out by Fernando. She's done her part, Alicia Fernando, to just support Ramjit. Now scoring isn't really the main importance. They won't want to lose any more wickets. Girika Kodali also there for the Eastern. She can play her shots. Almost playing onto her stumps there. Got to be careful, Alicia Fernando. Goes full again, looking for that Yorker length. Sohani Thadani kept out yet again by Fernando. Another excellent over. Just the one run coming from it. At the end of 5, 7 for 3. So just the 2 overs of Snake the Paul. In comes Isani Vaikela into the attack. She was so impressive in those Sister Mortgage Women's National Championships with both ball and bat. So she'll be looking to really add to her prowess. Starts with a wide down the leg side. So Vaikela now continuing with the seam, the Western Conference. Much better this time in terms of the line. Likes to attack the stumps. Isani Vaikela, she's got the feels for it as well. And this is something we saw with Snigdha Sriharsha when she was captain. Just following up on my earlier point, Sindhu Sriharsha, when she was captain of this Western Conference, she set very attacking fields. Didn't have many fielders on the boundary throughout, and it's good to see now that the captain, Annika Colin, who is also part of that Western Conference team, following up on that, with her now able to set these type of aggressive fields. End of the over, another good one for the Western. Good start by Vaikela. It's 8 for 3. Full toss, and Pooja shot into the attack. Get off strike straight away, Alisa Fernando. So just the 3 overs of Snigdha Paul and Suhani Tadani, 2 wickets and 5 runs in her 3 overs. Snigdha Paul, just 3 runs conceded in her initial 3. And a dream power play for the Women's Western Conference. What a start this has been. Getting some swing there, Shah. And they will get some extras. Direct hit And Fernando could have been in some trouble there, but gets home. Out appeal, Jermaine Lindo. Uninterested. So interesting, they've got a lot of seam options. We've already seen 4 in the Western Conference. And on this surface, it does spin as the day goes on. It gets a lot drier, but always that's something for the seamers with that newer ball. Goes full again. This time, gets it through. Alicia Fernando won't be a boundary. Good fielding in the deep, but almost a freebie there. That will relieve some pressure. Come out for 2. Mario onto the front foot. Full toss again. In the air this time. And it's taken. She's asking for a no ball, Fernando. Umpire Mahabir deeming it okay. So another wicket goes down. Full toss trying to capitalize on that opportunity. However, it's turned into a wicket. Sometimes the bad deliveries are the one that gets you out. 4th wicket now. More trouble for the Eastern Central Conference. And after attempting to rebuild, Fernando's gone for 5. It's 13 for 4. Lisa Ramjit still there, of course. New batsman in Annika Kumar. So another good over for the Western Conference, taking a wicket at the end of 7. It's 13 for 4. Isani Vaghela continuing just the 1 over thus far for her. down the leg side. So she does tend to stray there sometimes. So Vikela, we keep mentioning her name, one of the bright prospects of USA Women's Cricket, just 15 years old. And her bowling, batting has been so impressive to watch. So they want to keep taking wickets. What a start it's been. 2 wickets going now in the first over for the Eastern Conference. And the Western have just continued to take wickets with regularity. And you really thought that partnership was developing nicely with Fernando and Lisa Ramjit. Good bowling this from Isani Vaikela. Great delivery, beating the outside edge. So Coach Murray Rampasad of this Western Conference will feel very happy with this start that his team has been able to get, taking 4 wickets. Of course, 3 in the power play, which is always a crucial factor of winning any game. Vaikela, she's been a bit expensive in terms of with her extras. You just want to get that rhythm, continue to attack those stumps. So end of the over. And at the end of 8, it's 15 for 4. So Pooja Shah, her first over, getting a wicket. Continuing now, look at the field from Annika Colin. Love that extra cover in place. Got that catcher in the slip. And then, of course, a packed offside field point cover. Extra cover mid-off. Gorgeous shot past the mid-off. Isani Vaikela is quick though, and she can't cut it off. So a really good shot from Lisa Ramjit. Finally gets her first boundary. It's a full toss, asked to be hit. She give it the treatment. She'll be very happy with that. See her innings progress. She's very strong on that front foot. So they need to be careful. Pooja Shah has been very full to start her spell. This one, much better from Shah. On the stumps, on the money. And Ramjit must keep that out. Misfield, so they scamper through for the run. Vaikela was there at mid-off. Chance of a run out. This one edged, short of slip. Got to hurry, good running from Lisa Ramjit. Wants to get back on strike. Ends the over. So at the end of 9, work to be done for the Eastern Central Conference. They still have their captain, Lisa Ramjit, at the crease. She's on 10. It's 20 for 4. 21 for 4. Vaikela into her third. Interesting to see that the captain, Colin, opting to use 3 overs of her seamers. We've already seen 3 from Snigdha Paul and Suhani Thadani. I think maybe Thadani could have gotten that 4th to continue to take the wickets. Remember, she's already got 2 to her name. Vaikela into her 3rd over. This one full and bad on it. So Anika Kumar finally getting off the mark. She really would have liked some probably more gap finding in the sense of getting that through that cover region. It's a big gap that they've got in place. So you can tell that she's aiming for that region to try and find the boundary. And you've got to be very careful to Lisa Ramjit, because if you stray, or if you get too full, she can put you through that gap for 4. She hits the ball fiercely. Exactly where you need to be. Bowling to Lisa Ramjit from Isani Vaikela, full on the money. So Ramjit will hold the key to this innings. Been there for 23 deliveries, so been there for a while. Full toss, just down the ground. Chance of run out at the bowler's end. A direct hit, could have been close, but in the end, gets on quite comfortably. So this has been a good over thus far from Isani Vakela. Just this 2 singles. And again, another quick single. Hits the stump direct. Umpire not interested. So ends the over. Some good running on display in that over. At the end of 10, the halfway stage of the innings, it's 25 for 4. So 2 overs of Shah. In comes Ritu Singh, another seam option for the Western. This one edged, just short of slip. They've utilized that slip fielder for the majority of this innings. Ritu Singh, another new member of this under-19 Women's Western Conference, so she'll be looking to make an impact as well. Oh, look at that. Getting some movement back into the right-hander. So and driven to extra cover. No run. So another partnership being developed here. 12 thus far, this partnership. Anika Kumar, Lisa Ramjit. And we know Lisa Ramjit does have that hard-hitting ability, so she can sort of accelerate if they've got wickets in hand, and maybe those last 5 overs, they want to get somewhere close to 100 to be par on this surface, you would think. Gets better as the day progresses with that sun baking on it. Good defense being shown from Kumar. So Ritu Singh starts with a maiden. End of 11, 25 for 4. So interesting, a change of ends for Pooja Shah. She's back into the attack. May want to operate from that other end. We did see her only go for 11 runs with a wicket in her 2 overs, but she was unable to find that rhythm. So coming from the southern end, so down the leg side will be a wide. Ramjit still looking to spend time at the crease for a team. She's so important if they're to get anything of a competitive score. Been there now for a while. Been at the crease for almost 50 minutes, close to an hour. So down the leg side and a misfield at square leg. So they come back for 2. Got to hurry here, but the throw wasn't good enough. So in the end, easy 2. Good running from Ramjit and Kumar. Will be another way. So extras haven't been helping the Western Conference. Already up to 8. Want to keep those to a minimum. Want to make the Eastern Central Conference work for every single run. So end of the over at the end of 12, 29 for 4. Saying continuing, good work from Annika Colin. Yeah, this is really good. She won a wicket though. Ritu Singh, she's been on the money in her first 8 deliveries. Goes full again into the onside. Wanted a run. Ramjit not interested. Can't afford a run out at this stage. So just 7 overs remain after this. Of course, these are T20 encounters. Post shot comes out straight to the fielder. Makes no mistake. Ritu Singh's got her first. And the partnership is broken. Needed to get a move on. Annika Kumar. Big wicket for the Western Conference. 5th one goes down. Kumar gone for 3. It's 29 for 5. So for the Eastern Conference, Girika Kodali. Mainly known for her bowling exploits, but she can play her shots. And they need that at this stage. Ritu Singh getting her first wicket. It was much deserved. She was on the money. Be interesting to see how Kodali approaches this innings. There's that punch straight to the fielder though. So another good over for the Western Conference in the Sistar Mortgage USA Under-19 Women's National Championships. Well on top after 13. It's 29 for 5. So into her fourth over now, Pooja Shah. Been a really economical spell from her in this game. Pooja Shah, 3.1 overs, just the 15 runs. However, maybe if you compare that to some of our other seamers, you can say it's a tad on the expensive side. But still, in the scheme of the game, should be happy with this spell. Getting a wicket, just conceding 17 runs thus far. So one punched into the gap. So Kodali underway. Should get it easy too. Issa Ramjit hasn't been on strike much in the last 2 overs. Looking to penetrate that offside field again. Unable to. So Gidika Kodali, tall, fast bowler, now asked to do it with the bat in hand. She's very capable. She's plays her shots. This one edged down to short third. Just be one. And you can see that Sistar Mortgage on these under 19 women's shirts, and you must say credit to them for investing in USA women's cricket, developing the domestic pathway, which you spoke about at length during the national championships 2021. And now building the framework to sort of develop USA cricket. This is where it starts, the under 19 level. So another good over for Pooja Shah. Her 4 overs are completed. At the end of 14, it's 35 for 5. So for these final 6 overs, great to have the women's head coach, Julia Price, my fellow commentator for throughout the national championships. She's a little busy in these under-19 championships, but great to have her. And with her, there comes a change in bowling. Sai Uni. Julia, the Western Conference really on top. 35 for 5, the Eastern, after 14.
Yeah, they're pretty strong, the Western Conference, and a lot of that comes from having developed cricket competitions that these girls are playing in all the time. Sayuni, really, really impressed with her. Only 13 years old, from Dallas, Texas. And really excited to see a leg spinner in this competition. We've been asking for it in the seniors, and Fortunately, Sai, being only 13, wasn't eligible, but her bowling, definitely in the regionals, was certainly up to standard to play in that senior competition.
Yeah, I mean, when you told me she was a leg spinner, this one, Lisa Ramjit, latches on to that. And we haven't seen much of that in this innings, but just sat up, asked to be hit. So, great boundary for Ramjit. That will boost her confidence going into these final 5 overs.
Yeah, we're also just discussing that not many people get to captain a leg spinner, and this is where you really want your leg spinner to sort of step up and start setting their fields, understanding where they normally get hit, where they're going to be pitching the ball, what sort of lines they're bowling, how much it's going to turn. So probably just chasing the field, the ball a little bit at the moment. We're just going with a deep backward square with that slightly over pitched ball.
Yeah, this one down to the boundary again. So Lisa Ramjit, 2 and 2. And after slugging really through this innings, this will be really a joy for her to pick up boundaries in this over. She probably was happy to see the leg spinner.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly when they're bowling some full tosses like that. At the moment, I think that she's got Lassia Malapati there in mid-wicket, just way too square. We want a much straighter mid-wicket, so that the batter is actually going to have to try and hit over the head of that fielder and filling that space in really nicely there. They just had it way too square, plenty of space for her to hit through to the sort of vacant cow area to get that boundary.
Yeah, very interesting passage of play. Goes full again, this time in the air, but will fall safely, so crucial. 1-2 chance of a run out, but sent back. He's around it. Probably wants to retain the strike. Overall, Julia, in terms of how this under-19 national championships would have started, what do you make of sort of the talent on display?
Well, 3 for none, or none for 3, as you guys say. It's a pretty good start. And picking up the wickets of Disha Dhingra, who we saw did really well last week in the senior nationals. And then we've got one of the new players that have come into it this week, a 14-year-old in Taranam Chopra. She was also dismissed for no runs and an unfortunate run out, but yeah, it's 2 big wickets really early, so it's put the East really on the back foot to start off straight away. But it's great to be able to see these girls out there running around and playing against their own peer level as well. You can see obviously Gitika Kadali out there at the moment probably didn't have the best series with the bat in the seniors, same as Lisa Ramjit in fact, but suddenly they're playing against girls in their own age, and you can see them actually getting a little bit more comfortable and being able to open up the shoulders when they're out there and just planning a little bit better. So we've got to remember a lot of these girls playing in the seniors that they're still kids.
Yeah, talk to me about one thing, Julia. Yesterday I observed practice and you were speaking to Lisa Ramjit, and she looked a lot more freer than she did in those national championships today, playing a crucial innings for her team, of course, as the captain. 23 now in her 36 deliveries. How different sort of has this innings been to what we were used to seeing in the national championships?
Nicely bowled there from Snigdha Paul, far end, and a good single. To me, I think there's a lot of pressure, and this is exactly what we want, though. The senior national championships, everyone was aware that we've got a couple of teams that we're picking after that, so the pressure of selection can really affect a player about how they go about it, and I really think that probably got in Lisa's head a fair bit. And you can see the freedom immediately now today, and she's knowing that this is her peer level, and after this is actually no immediate under-19 team being selected for this. So it's more about the education process, it's more about understanding how to be elite, it's out there showing exactly what you can do and pretty much just enjoying your cricket, I suppose. Obviously they still want to win, as the East versus the West, there's still a strong rivalry there, and a good shot there from Gitika Kadali, and a fantastic fielding effort just to keep that to just 2. But it's certainly a different, not quite the pressures of the senior nationals here in the under-19s. I'm sure everyone still wants to make sure they're putting their hand up and being seen by the selectors, but it's a very different pressure. But good to be able to practice that at the same time.
Yeah, Snigdha Paul, she's been very impressive. Started this innings with the 2 overs, just for 2 runs. Oh, excellent from Kodali, but equally good work at mid-off, saving a boundary. I like the intensity that Gitika Kodali's brought to the crease in terms of looking to run those quick singles. It is the last 5 overs. What sort of score do you think? I mean, obviously they were in a spot of disarray at one stage, but the rebuild through Lisa Ramjit. Looking at where the game is at now, Julia, what score can the women's conference get to? What Eastern Conference get to sort of be competitive?
Well, I think they'd need to at least looking at 80. I mean, you can sort of score 7 to 8 reasonably easily with, they've still got 5 wickets in hand, and there's just a caught and bowled. Nope, not caught and bowled. I didn't look at the whole delivery there, but well fielded straight off her bowling by Sneak DePaul. Lisa Ramjit, no run there. But I still think they can get that sort of 7 to 8. Lisa's been out there for a fair while, as you mentioned. Ginika Kadali's been hitting them nicely straight away. Probably over-pitching a little bit to her at this stage. But, I think we saw that one of the games last week, the Eastern team only scored 79 and the Western team only just got it over the line in the 20th over. So, new pitch, though, today. Looks like it's nice and shiny, very Caribbean-style looking pitch. I don't know how much turn will be in that, but it's certainly going to be coming on very nicely to the bat. So I think at this stage, they'll definitely be looking at a minimum of 80, 85.
Was that decision sort of surprising, winning the toss, electing to bowl first?
Not really. I know the girls really do like to chase. They prefer to do that. I know that the coach was very keen to have a bat. That's Maria Rampersad, who's coaching them this week. But yeah, I think there's a comfort level. Sometimes you go with your strengths of what you want to do first and see that you can get on top. And it probably was justified, I suppose, in the fact that they had them 3 for none or none for 3 early on in the innings.
I was a bit surprised knowing how great these conditions are for batting. But as you said, it was really a great start from the Western Conference. This is the wicket that they want, though. Lisa Ramjit, they'll feel uneasy with her at the crease. Ends the 16th over. If you have a look at the bowling, it's ready. They've been on top the bowling card for the Western Conference. 2 wickets for Sahani Thadani. Speak a bit about her, Julia, in terms of how impressive was she with that new ball. I love that fluent action.
Yeah, she's been fantastic. And the seniors, she keeps it quite simple. And I think that's the key to Sahani's success so far in this tournament. She's just bowled sort of just slightly back of her length, targeting the stumps a fair bit, gets a little bit of fade into the pads of the right-hander. And, it's been quite a great tournament for her so far. Hasn't had to try too much. I did have a quick chat with her yesterday about when she did get challenged a little bit bowling at the back end of one of the innings and how she was going to cope with that. And she was just talking very calmly about just slightly varying her pace and what she was going to be bowling. So,
yeah, the running has been good. They've sort of put the pressure now back on the Western in these last couple of overs. Run rate over 5 in these last 5 overs. So since Ginika Kodali's come to the crease, can sense a lot more comfort in this pair. Partnership now worth 22 from just 19.
Yeah, these two have known each other for a fair while, played all their junior cricket together and been good mates.
Using her feet, Ramjit trying to go for that big shot. Gets it into the corner region. So another 2 runs. You never know, Julia. That 80 could be on the way these two are going.
Absolutely. I'd really love to see Asif Mujtaba, who's the under-19 head coach, come down and have a bit of a chat with Sayuni about how she's got her field placed at the moment. You can see that she's got that, well, you might be able to see it, but at sort of the mid-wicket is a very wide mid-wicket. Now they're pushing her back onto the boundary. Probably don't really need that short fine in there as well, but I just really loved just as a 13-year-old, she's still obviously learning the craft and trying to develop how her game's going to how she's going to get these wickets. Lisa Ramjit, a little bit inside out there, and Chetna Prasad's taken a good catch there at cover, little inside out. Just tried to with the 5 fielders on the leg side, she's had to try and go to the offside. Did slice that one, but great wicket there from Sayuni and well batted as well to Lisa Ramjit. Just couldn't really get that acceleration going. She'd started off really well, pushing through her gear 1, and just to shift into that gear 2 to try and up the run rate and get some acceleration there, she was really struggling.
Big wicket for the Western Conference, and any hopes that the Eastern would have had may just have dwindled in the sense. But what a knock it was from Lisa Ramjit under pressure. Wickets falling around her. She's gone for 29. And the score now 55 for 6. Yeah, crucial wicket there we were discussing, Julia. And For this Western team, in terms of as a bowling group, what are some of the things you were really impressed by? You know, to see them bowling in tandem and partnerships as a head coach, that must seriously impress you.
Yeah, that it does. It's good. I think they haven't really thought about being able to work as a pair with their bowling partners and sort of working out when they're going to be bowling their variations, how to get in and out of an over, and how that momentum shift can affect the other end. So you don't want to be forcing the wicket, trying to go for the wicket on the last ball of the over if it's potentially going to just shift that momentum and undo all the good that you've done with the pressure. You want to maintain that pressure at both ends. So I've been really impressed the way, particularly we saw Snigdha Paul. Oh, that's another catch to Chetna Prasad, Geetika Kadali. Very similar dismissal off the bowling of Sayuni. She's now on a hat-trick. And a little bit of a disaster here for the East. They just started to get their way out of that, and Geetika Kadali's played a bit of a loose shot.
Well, the saying, when one wicket falls, it brings two. And that's sort of the leg spin touch. Julia, this is why you need the leg spinner.
Yeah, absolutely. She's taken a little bit of time. She's starting to land a few now. She's taken a little bit of time to find her length. But again, if you just maybe had that field set a little tighter early on, it just keeps the pressure on the few of the boundaries that sort of probably makes her figures look not quite as good as they could be. But at this stage, she's really started to hit her straps now, putting the pressure back on these batters who thought they could just tee off a little bit on her, and didn't probably respect her enough once she started landing these balls. They wouldn't have seen a lot of her as well. There's not too many leg spinners in the country, as we mentioned, so really, really good that we've got one coming through the system. We've actually got a couple that are from the Texas area. Shreya Dio was another one that bowled pretty well as well. Another young kid coming through with her leg spin. So good to see we've got a few on the horizon. Just moving a field around a little bit now, which is good. I still would love her to straighten up her, and probably even push back. A fielder at mid-wicket is way too short there. And that was the hat-trick ball. I would have loved to see more pressure on the field then. Bring it in a little bit, put a few fielders around the bowler. I mean, they've got them around the batter. They've got enough runs on the board to be able to, if they do happen to go for a 4, they've got them pretty much on the ropes at this stage.
A full delivery. Trying to attack those stumps. Sayuni. End of the over at the end of 17. A good one for the Western, taking 2 wickets in that over. It's 55 now for 7. Were you sort of expecting such a sort of, we can say, one-sided score towards the Western Conference at the beginning of today, Judith?
No, absolutely not. It's a pretty even competition. This under-19s, pretty much the same as the seniors, really. We've got so much talent from around the country. It was quite difficult for the selection of players to be in these teams because they were so strong, the number of players coming through. So I don't think the run-out was the real killer for me in the Western. Bit of a waste, particularly this early, and a run out by so far as well. More of a miscommunication. We were talking about that last week as well with regards to players being who have played a fair bit together and their understanding between the wickets. So you've really got to make sure you're very open and very loud with your communication when you're not used to batting with different players, as this competition has just exposed. Now we've got 2 new batters out there, really. We've got Matali Pat Warden, the wicketkeeper, and also Bhumika Badriaju. Pat Warden facing.
Yeah, great to see Badaraju able to play this game. I know she was nursing an injury through those national championships, so good to see that she's fully recovered.
Yeah, the good thing about her, she's been taking the recovery quite seriously. She's done all the right things. She's listened to the physio. It's quite easy just to think, nah, it'll be right. But she was very keen to make sure that she was icing up every time, checking on the physio all the time and making sure that she was doing the right things because she really wanted to play in this. So great work to her. And that's sort of partially what these championships are about. It's also about teaching these girls how to be elite cricketers and elite athletes and how to look after themselves and prepare themselves for games and recovering post-games and warming up to make sure that they're minimising the injuries that potentially can happen with, playing this many games at such a high level in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, what's been interesting to me is to see how these young female cricketers, some 14 years old, as you would have mentioned, 15, 16, and right through up until the under-19 phase, how they've reacted to the professionalism of this setup. I think that's something that you don't see every day, and it's impressive and shows, you know, a good structure in place.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for them. Obviously, Sistar Mortgage has come on board with to assist with the domestic pathway and both of our national championships as well, which is a big help and provides us more opportunities to be able to give these girls to be playing at this level. So, you know, it's great that they've got that gratitude as well when they turn up. There's no real entitlement here with these players. They're very excited that they're being given these opportunities, and they understand, you know, that it's not every day that you get these amazing opportunities, and we're hoping these obviously to continue to expand on these over the next few years and ensure that we've got a really strong pathway for all our players leading into our USA team, which will clearly make it a lot stronger at the top end. Obviously, with the announcement just yesterday that the potentially the cricket will be in the 2028 Olympics in LA, I think that's going to be a big factor in continuing to push all these players and making sure that we're ready to be competitive hosting the Olympic Games here in LA. That hopefully if cricket is there, we're putting in a good show for that with both the male and female programs.
Yeah, critical news coming yesterday. Very excited to see cricket taking such a major step, especially with it being in the USA. So good news all around. And getting back to the cricket, these two will be really looking to pile on the runs. Just two overs remaining after this. So that 80 now with the wicket of Ramjit and Kodali looking very far away. End of the 18th over. It's 57 for 7. And if we have a look at sort of the batting card, you can see really Lisa Ramjit, the only standout with that 29. Also Lisa Ramjit, if you can spend some time on her, Julia, she did well in those national championships, was one man of the match in the final game with her bowling, 4 for 18.
We'll call her player of the match.
Sorry, Julia.
It's all good, no worries. Yeah, she did. She bowled quite well. It's funny sometimes, and I suppose when things aren't going maybe necessarily right for you in one skill, the other one does step up. So she did bowl in some good areas. Admittedly, there were some very loose shots in that chase where, to me, West absolutely threw that away. But to her credit, she did bowl nice and simply, nice and straight, and set her field accordingly. So a well-deserved 4 for her and the player of the match.
Certainly, very exciting to see. And Sohani Thadani back into the attack. So her 3 overs initially went for just 5 runs, 2 wickets, as you mentioned, keeps it so simple. She's so good at being consistent on that 4-stump line, and I'm sure that's what you want, you know, as a young bowler.
And also as a captain, it makes it so much easier to be able to make sure you're setting your fields right. I mean, we're in the 19th over here, and they haven't got anyone on the boundary at the moment, so they're really squeezing. I like this attacking play from Anika Colan, the wicketkeeper and captain for this Western team. Managed to squeeze one through the legs there, a little bit of a nutmeg for Bhumika Badriarju. Can bat, probably hasn't got as much opportunity as she would have liked. At the same time, she's a very upbeat, positive young lady, and she's, you know, just mainly been working on her primary skill, which is her off-spin bowling, which has been going pretty well. But it's a good opportunity for her now just to sort of show what she can do. Just keep ticking this over. Matali Pat Warden, we've seen a little bit of her. She's got quite a nice little technique. Good runner between the wickets. Her intent to score is excellent, so again, I think we'll be seeing her a little bit higher up the order in the next sort of few days with regards to the rest of the games that we've got scheduled for this under-19 national championships.
And regardless of the score the Eastern Central Conference sort of achieved in these 20 overs, how, as a team, do you sort of go out trying to defend a obviously subpar total? How do you start the innings off? Another quick single, chance for a run out of the bowler's end. Just narrowly misses.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously want to start with your best bowlers, and you've got to take wickets. You can't. It's very difficult to defend a really low total like this. So, to me, I mean, the East, we haven't seen a huge amount of their bowling. Obviously, Gitika Kadali and Lisa Ramjit, who we've already mentioned, have bowled, well, particularly Gitika bowled very, very well in the national championship. So she'll be absolutely key. And what you need to be doing is making sure that you're keeping the stumps in play at all times. So, well bowled there, and that's what has Suhani Thadani has done so well, and to a degree Snigdha Paul as well, is they've attacked the stumps. So they know if the batter misses the ball, that they're going to either take that wicket through either a bowled or LBW. If they're bowling outside of those stumps all the time, then it becomes you're losing 2 of those possible 10 different ways you may be able to get someone out.
Well, completes a fantastic 4 over spell, just goes for 8 runs, takes the 2 wickets. The pick of the bowlers for me. 1 over remains. It's 60 for 7. Isani Vaikela into the attack to bowl her final over. Interesting to see how Vaikela goes with the bat. She was so impressive, Julia. Definitely one of the standout talents in this women's setup. But in those Sister Mortgage National Championships for the women, she was so impressive. Now in the under 19, a lot more players of her age range. Interesting to see if she can continue that domination.
Yeah, absolutely. And also with the bowling as well, she probably didn't bowl as well as she would have liked. We had a little chat yesterday about her trying to just engage that front shoulder and that front arm a little bit more, and also finish her action as she gets through it. She's today done some good and some not so good, but a really quick learner, Asani, very vigilant in how she goes about training and always keen to learn. But as you mentioned, she was fantastic with the bat. Got found out a couple of times on the short ball from Gitika Kadali, and again, adapted fairly well, put that into her plan.
This one in the air, just short. We'll feel that third.
Just put that into her bowling, into her batting plan, and just decided she was just going to duck under any of those short ones because she was tending to either get caught top edges, just getting a little bit cramped up. So I love the fact that she was able to adapt so quickly, and that's the beauty of these competitions is you start to experience different things that you mightn't normally in your club cricket that you're facing back home.
Much better there. Dot ball. Exactly what's needed.
Yeah, with the field up at the moment, you've really just got to beat that short third. Anything that's got a bit of width, I'd be looking to guide it down to third. Just get some of those easy runs. They've got to find some boundaries here.
Loud appeal. Vaikela was confident. And do they have the stumping as well? Umpire Jermaine Lindo not interested. So good work though. Good awareness by the Western Conference. And you must say, give them credit for this bowling display they've been able to put on.
You can see Matali Pat Warden. I mean, she hasn't been out there for that long, and she's really just trying to swing maybe a little too hard. And she could be, you can hold your shape and your technique. Just drive through that. They've got a short cover, which would be easy to get, but she seems to really struggle with that width just outside the off stump. So whether this is a ploy from the West, and they've done some research into Matali Pat Warden, just about where her weaknesses might be. They seem to be bowling fairly consistently in that area.
Holistically, Julia, as we bring the innings to a close, what's some of the goals? Obviously, 2 T20 games tomorrow. Expecting 2 today, as well as trying to get 2 tomorrow. We're not sure about that just yet. But overall, in this Sister Mortgage USA Under-19 Women's National Championships, what would be the sort of the goals that you would look at as head coach of the women's?
Yeah, and again, I think it's just about girls and their learnings. We particularly have 63 for 7. That would be one of the goals, is to ensure that we can start to work on how we trying to get closer to the 120, which seems a long way away at this stage. But and look at the reasons and the analysis. Beautiful work there for Matali Pat Warden. She's learned to adapt. Took a while to adapt, but that's exactly what she should have been doing. And that's the sort of play we want to see the girls doing. And whether it's more anecdotal sort of stuff or it's an actual stat, there's plenty of things that they can take away from this championships that they'll be able to work on. Whether it's, as I mentioned before, the warm-ups, the recoveries, the understanding of their own games, sorting their fields, opposition analysis, self-analysis. There's so much that they can learn. But again, we do have key KPIs that we're trying to work on.
Goes for the quick single and run out on the final delivery. So sums up how the display has gone for the Western Conference. What a dominant performance it's been, restricting this Eastern Central Conference to just 64 for 7 in the 20 overs.
Yeah, probably a little bit disappointing there for the East, but it is game one. A lot of the West have got an advantage of having quite a few players in their team from the senior nationals. So as we see Gargi Bogle running off to hat up. No doubt we'll be opening the innings for the West today. But it'll be interesting how West do go about this. Sometimes these low totals can be a little tough to chase down, as we did see last week as well. So I think it'll just be good to be able to see what we've got in store from the East with regards to their bowling changes, making sure that they are changing things constantly, keeping it, challenging the batters, and even just how their attacking play goes about, how they're going to try and get these wickets.
Well, look at the scorecard. Starting 0 for 3 in the first over. Lisa Ramjit, she had her work cut out for her as the captain. Got to 29. And got some small support from Annika Kumar, Girika Kodali through the middle. But the bowlers, you must say, really stood out for the Western Conference. For me, Sahani Fedani, the pick of the bowlers, 2 wickets, just the 8 runs. Snigdha Paul was excellent at the top and the back end of the innings. Isani Vaikela and Pooja Shah, tad expensive, but wickets for Sai Uni as well. The leg spinner, 2 overs, 2 wickets for 14 runs. When we return, the Western Conference will need 65 for victory in this first game of the Sistar Mortgage Women's Under-19 National Championships 2021. So getting ready for resumption here with the Western Conference up against the Eastern Conference in these Sister Mortgage USA Under 19 Women's National Championships. Kirika Kodali to start proceedings off for the Eastern. First delivery, here we go. That one way down the leg side will be extras. So underway initially, two openers for the Western Conference. Gargi Bogle, who we saw in the Women's National Championships, got a courageous 42. And Pooja Ganesh, new to the Under 19 setup. Should be easy goings. This chase just 65 to win. If you missed it, the Eastern Central Conference restricted to 64. On the leg side again. So Kodali just struggling to find her length and line, get into that rhythm. And when you're only defending 64, I can't afford to stray too often. A wide again, so Kodali been expensive. Already 4 runs from the over. Big swing and a miss from Gargi Bogle. She's that attacking, aggressive type batter, at the top of the innings. So 5 from the first 2 deliveries. That one keeping low. That required a rate just over 3 runs and over, so nothing big for, shouldn't be too much of a treacherous task for these two at the crease. And what's to come, a lot of batting to come for the Western Conference. Yeah, much better from Kodali. Chance of a run out. In the end, they get through quite easily. So miscommunication there. Dot ball, much needed, but they've already got their required quota off the first over. So at the end of the first 5 from it, a good start for the Women's Western Conference. So from the other end, Afia Kazi trying to get a wicket. They need wickets at an instant for the Eastern and Central Conference. Of course, restricted to that 64. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce the female player director and also part of the USA Women's National Team. You would have seen her in action last week, Nadia Gruni. Nadia, welcome to the commentary box, your first time. Great to have you. Going to hear from you after this delivery. Afia Kazi looking to get off to a good start. Well fielded, but just still be the one. Nadia, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Sistar Mortgage USA Under 19 Women's National Championship.
Hey, Nikhil. Thank you. Of course, it's great to be here. Good to be on the other side of the field this week. We have pretty good weather out there today, unlike last week. The girls are in their uniforms, so I'm sure that makes your job a lot easier and everyone else's as well. So just looking forward to the next 3 days of some lovely cricket.
Sorry, Nadia, we're just trying to make sure that we can hear you. Kazi, in the meantime, continuing. This one slapped through point. Won't get to the boundary. Should be an easy 2. Good start from the Western. Nadia, great to have you. Sorry, we just didn't get you in terms of for that initial thing. But welcome to the Under 19 Championships. How does it feel to sort of be watching some of these players that you would have played with up to last week?
It's always exciting to see these girls in action. They're really good teammates to play with. They're full of energy. Yeah, and you know, it's also good to just also see them play at their level with their peers, and I think it brings a different, just a different energy and a different dimension to their game. So just really looking forward to seeing what they can produce out there.
From a personal perspective, how did you enjoy the Sistar Mortgage Women's National Championships? You were part of the Eastern Central team, another drive into the offside. You were on the losing end, but still, how did you enjoy the overall experience?
It was pretty fantastic experience, I'd say. Although we lost, 3 games, I think, out of 5 that we played. We also won 2, and they were all really close games as well. So it's good to have played in a national championship where the girls have come through. The pathway and different levels, from intra-regionals to regionals and then the national tournament. So I think everyone can feel that pride of being able to represent your region and being able to represent your conference. It brings a whole new level of competition that we have not seen and not experienced before.
Down the leg side, another white. Kazi needs to sort of just get in that rhythm. You just referenced, Nadia, that domestic pathway, of course, Sistar Mortgage coming on board. And how important do you think that is as female player directors, sort of to continue the development and growth of the women's game, having Sistar Mortgage on board for that pathway?
Yeah, well, essentially, this is going to be the backbone of our development and our national teams. To be able to get a significant sponsor on board.
Let me interrupt you there. Excellent shot, first boundary for the Western Conference, and they continue to dominate with the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty significant having them on board. As I said, this forms the backbone of our cricket moving forward, and to give these girls this sort of cricket to play. As I mentioned, they haven't had it before. So coming from their club systems, playing with the boys, they're now able to play competitive cricket with girls across the country. So this is going to be key to really developing that pipeline for our national team performances. So we couldn't ask for anything better, and the timing is perfect.
Yeah, and you would have first represented Team USA in terms of in 2010. Over the years, as we end the second over with the score, now on 14 without loss. Over the years, Nadia, what are some of the differences that you've sort of seen in the overall development of the women's game?
Well, I've been a part of the national team since, as you said, 2010, and the group of players who played since then all the way till now have really been the pioneers of the game in this country. And so many of the youngsters that we see playing here today, they were much younger, of course, and they looked at us and saw the opportunity to represent the country. So I think that was their first spark of interest to play the game. So to be able to now grow into what they are today, the cricket clubs around the country have been so much more supportive to develop these girls, so that they can have the opportunities we've had and even more and even better. And so they've had such an early start to the game, that they're surely going to really be successful once they get out there on the international stage.
This one fiercely pulled. This is Gargi Bogle. You would have got a good look at her last week, Nadia, in that 42 she scored. But when she hits it, it stays hit.
Definitely. Gargi is quite an explosive player. Left-hand batting top order. She is someone that we're all pretty excited about. Not afraid to take chances, take good calculated risks as well. And it's the sort of explosive type of batter that we need in any team setup.
Well, the Western Conference well on top of proceedings thus far in these first 3 overs. Way ahead of the run rate, miles ahead. Just 46 runs required now for victory. And if Gargi Bogle continues to bat, well, this could be over very soon. Anika Kumar trying to get that wicket. Angle the ball into the stumps of Bogle, but on that occasion she was just too short. And Bogle made her pay the price. Is it tough, Nadia, being a female player director as well as playing in the national team?
Definitely. The challenge, of course, comes from the time management.
Bogle goes fiercely again. This one may not get to the boundary. Should be just 2. Good piece of fielding being done there by Gidika Korali. So it's 3. Great running. Gargi Bogle really taking the initiative this early in the innings. You're speaking on the time management?
Yes. Really kudos to everyone who worked together to get the USA cricket up and running, to have that foresight and really vision to have player directors on the board. What that does, it gives players an opportunity to have their voice be heard on the board and where decisions are being made. So rather than just that top-down approach, we've got players' perspectives into each decision made.
Getting some movement there. Chance of a run out at the bowler's end. Goes to the wrong end. Gargi Bogle, great running. Gets there quite comfortably in the end. And obviously we can hear from your accent that you're not from the USA. From Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, that's right. The smaller island of the two, Tobago. Population of just about 55,000. But I left there just about, I would say, maybe 18, 19 years ago now.
Oh, this is beautiful from Gargi Bogle. Width on offer. It won't get to the boundary. But another 3 runs. Really great cricket from the Western Conference. Couldn't have asked for a better start. What did you make of their bowling performance, the Western Conference, restricting the Eastern Central to just 64?
Yeah, the west side, they've got a pretty good bowling attack. I mean, we've got Suhani opening the bowling, who's been really consistent and constantly attacks the stumps, and she's been doing that since the seniors. So I think they're really taking the form and every lesson that they've learned from the seniors into the under-19s.
Much better from Kumar. Just trying to find that rhythm. End of the over. Good one for the Western. 11 runs coming from it. At the end of 3, they're flying at this stage. The Western Conference is 26 without loss. Well, she's trying to run away from me, but she's promised me one more over. So we see Bhumika Badaraju, into the attack. And what, Nadia, as the female player director, are some of the things you're looking for during these Sister Mortgage Under 19 championships for these young female cricketers sort of to do and achieve?
Just really for these girls to give their best effort out there. We've known them for a while. They've been in and around the cricket system for some time. So we know what they can do. They have such great attitudes toward the game. They've got great ambitions. So it's just really, they've got now the national platform to perform and to just showcase their talents to everyone who's watching.
Badaraju, very excited. She was on your team, Nadia, last week. Very young talent. The one that I've really identified as someone that I think can go places in USA women's cricket. Bhumika Badaraju, just 16 years old, off spinner. How impressed have you been? This time, Bogle goes for another big shot. There is protection in deep.
Bhumi has been really impressive. We don't have a lot of spinners on the national team or in the national training groups. So she really fills a gap and a hole there that we've got. But she's also really good at it. So we're really looking forward to having her be a part of the system moving forward, and of course getting better and growing with the game as time goes on. She's going to be critical for Team USA in the near future as well.
Yeah, definitely one that stands out to me. Sort of for the Eastern Conference, these are, as you said, young females will be looking to win this game. It's sort of out their reach at this stage with only 39 more required. Nadia, how would you say do you go about, if you're the bowling team, restricting these and getting some wickets?
I'd say these girls, they have to continue. They need to try to attack the stumps a bit more. We see that once they get a little bit of room, they're going at it, especially Gargi. She loves to go through that coverage, or if she has an opportunity to pull, she's going to go for it. So these girls are going to have to be disciplined in their bowling to restrict and build some pressure here.
And as an opening batter yourself, Nadia, what are some of the advice that you give to a Gargi Bogle, these young female cricketers coming through the ranks, to be in your shoes one day for the USA Women's National Team?
Yeah, it's really about playing to their strengths, really understanding their game, learning to understand their game. Once they've entered the tournament, it's just executing on the things that they know well and that they're comfortable doing. Not to try anything new, really. And it's going to take time. Be patient. You're going to have some success. You're going to have some failures. It's okay. Cricket is a very patient sport, and they've got long careers ahead of them. That's the thing. They're just getting started. So I know a lot of them are really hard on themselves, and everyone wants to perform today, which is great. It's fantastic for all of us. But just to be really patient and to play to their strengths.
End of 4 overs. It's 30 without loss. So unfortunately, the esteemed Nadia, you need to get yourself a place in the commentary box at some stage. It's been great to have you, but sad to see you go. But hope you come back very soon.
Thanks, Nikhil. It was fun being here, and maybe I'll be back before the end of the game. But I'll definitely be here over the next couple of days, and we can chat some more.
Looking forward to it. Nadia Grooney, of course, female player director and USA women's national cricketer. This one flighted. Taranam Chopra, new under 19. This one into the gap. So another single. These two, this partnership, 31 and 25 deliveries. They've put on the runs. Gargi Bogle has led that onslaught for run a ball 15. And being one of the senior members of this Western Conference, Gargi Bogle, she couldn't have asked for a better start to her under 19 campaign. And she'll want to see this all the way home for her team. Just over 2 runs and over required. This still is the power play over. So she'll be looking to play that aggressive cricket that she's used to. Just the one player in the deep. Misses out there through the keeper. Just be one. See, she was disappointed. She wasn't able to get bad on that. Fine leg is in the circle, so could have been another boundary for Gargi Bogle. What I like is she marks herself hard at the crease. You can see always looking to be better when she plays a shot. That's sort of a sign of a really quality player. Much better from Chopra. Now beginning to find her stride. Really a contrasting start with the bat. Eastern Conference, they were 0 for 3 in the first over. Opposite for the Western, 32 without loss in 4.3 overs. Plays straight to cover. Dot ball. So Pooja Ganesh, she's done her job as well at the other end. Just supported Bogle, gave her the strike. Flighted Chopra aerial. Should just be one though. So good running between these two. Opening pair. Chopra trying to break this partnership. Unable to though in that first over. At the end of 5. The Women's Western Conference. 33 without loss. So the captain, Lisa Ramjit, into the attack. Straight away, Chopra just plays her down the ground. So Lisa Ramjit just ensuring that she gets her field right. Very interesting field. Gargi Bogle comes down the track and gets it into the boundary. Hits it too well. A lot of time to watch that. Lisa Ramjit's not the quickest. And clearly, Bogle is in a rush to get this over with. Too full from Ramjit on that occasion. Gargi Bogle has just been an impeccable touch. Wide signal there, so extras not helping the Eastern Central Conference in their efforts. Goes to point, running through for the quick single. And great calling from Gargi Bogle. So now, less than 30 runs required. Just 26 more for victory. The Western Conference. Remember, another game coming to you at 2:30 p.m. So they'll want to sort of finish this early, get a rest in these humid conditions. Oh, beautifully worked off her pad, Gargi Bogle. Mature innings this has been from her. You can just sense the difference in responsibility. Got a 42 in the Sistar Mortgage Women's National Championships 2021, continuing in that good form. With now this innings, partnership 41, something that the Eastern Conference weren't able to do. Bogle goes hard down the ground, past, Chopra. And Pooja Ganesh, she's well supported her. So if you're now joining us, the Eastern Central Conference getting to 64 in the first innings, and, well, the Western Conference well on top. At the end of the first power play, it's 43 without loss. Down to the boundary, more runs for the Western Conference. Great start to the campaign. This series, these Sistar Mortgage USA Under 19 Women's National Championships for the Western. They were so good in the field. And now following it up with their two openers, making light work of this chase of 65. Just 21 more runs required for victory. You expect with 10 wickets in hand, should be a cakewalk at this stage. Kasturi Vendatum into the attack. I liked how Pooja Ganesh has operated from the other end. Yes, it's been the Gargi Bogle show, but Ganesh has just done her thing. Rotate the strike, get Gargi Bogle on strike. Exactly what's required. Full Pooja Ganesh tries to squeeze it past point, unable to. This one now slapped, but unable to penetrate in that occasion. Yeah, it's been all the Western Conference in this one. Really been on top. Just 20 more to get now for victory. Still 13 and a half overs remaining. It's down the leg side. Will be a wide. And sort of when you're defending a low score, you can't afford to bowl a lot of extras. That sort of has allowed the pressure to come off. 9 extras now in the innings for the Eastern Central Conference. And Lisa Ramjit will be speaking to her players about a bit more initiative with the bat in hand when that second game comes around. Later today, 2:30 p.m. This one stays low. Pooja Ganesh gets it nicely in the gap. And it just has enough to get into the boundary. So anything short, she's pounced upon Pooja Ganesh. These two at the crease, really dangerous. Want to get a move on. There's not sure what's the rush. But clearly, Ganesh picking up her second boundary. They don't want to be in this sun very long. End of the over. Another good one for the Western. After 7, the 50 comes up. It's 50 without loss. So Ramjit's first over went for 10. She's opted to take herself out of the attack and bring on the spin of Bhumika Badaraju. Bogle doesn't matter. It doesn't matter though. Gargi Bogle in her area goes through mid wicket for another boundary, and this is going to be over very soon. Just 11 to win now. Gargi Bogle, what a revelation she's been. Not phased by anything. She's come out, played her natural game. And this is going to be over very soon. It's been all the Western Conference in this first match of the Sistar Mortgage Under-19 Women's National Championships. And that's not something Badaraju will be used to, being hit for many boundaries. Got that packed offside field coming around the wicket now. Goes full again. Bogle much more watchful on this occasion, and a miscommunication ends up in 2 runs. So not great work from the Eastern Conference. So good at working the ball off her pads. Gargi Bogle really likes that as an option of scoring. Unable to get it fine enough, though, to beat that fielder. Full toss. Bogle misses out. Miscommunication. Get home in the end quite easily. Just picked out the one fielder in the onside. Gargi Bogle at that sort of wide fine leg position. Short fine leg. Struck that powerfully. Really hits the ball with fierce. Gargi Bogle. Pooja Ganesh at the other end. Good bowling from Badiraju. So a very short game. The Eastern Conference only getting to 64 in their 20 overs for the loss of 8 wickets. Excellent delivery from Badiraju, just narrowly missing the stumps there. Good end to the over. At the end of 8, it's 57 without loss. Well, more runs for the Western Conference. It's just been their day, their game. And Gargi Bogle, she's not playing at the crease. Now races to 33 in just 24 deliveries. And what a start to the 9th over. Just 4 more to win for the Western. I'm sure Gargi Bogle will want to finish it in one hit as well. Watches it, keeps it out. Tarnam Chopra back into the attack. Excellent display of cricket, you must say, from the Western coach Mario Rampasado. Will be very happy with how his team has gone about things. Just one hit away. Don't forget, folks, at 2:30 p.m., the second game of this series, the Sistar Mortgage Under-19 Women's National Championships. Bogle coming on the track. Good adjustment from Tarnam Chopra. Partnership. A dominant 61 from 49 deliveries. Couldn't have asked for more, the Western Conference. Comes down the track, unable to get the connection. Required just one. This one in the air, just past the straight mid wicket in place. So it's just a single. So we're now 2 runs away and still 11 overs remaining. At the end of 9, 63 without loss. So it will be the bowling of Annika Kumar, but the end is very near. With just 2 runs to get. Could be this delivery. And you must say credit to the Western Conference for taking the 1-0 lead in this series. Will be a wide and a singles, which means that this first T20 of the Sister Mortgage Under 19 National Championships ends it. And ends in the favor of the Western Conference. Really a dominant all-round performance by them in this first match. And what a performance from these two opening batters to get them to this total in just 9 overs, not playing with that score. Never know with the weather around. Pooja Ganesh, 20 not out. Gargi Bogle, 34. Bogle was really the standout with her power hitting ability. And just a look at the scorecards quickly. That was the Eastern Conference, who only got to 64. Then when you look at the Western Conference, well, just pure dominance from these two at the top. A 65-run partnership. Not many bowlers needed. Bhumika Badaraju probably was the most impressive, the off-spinner yet again. So, a good win for the Western Conference. Join us at 2:30 p.m. for the second game in this series. Both these teams will be at it again. The Eastern will try to resurrect themselves and get a win in this series.